The first time I spotted my land popping up for sale on a real estate site, I figured it was some shady phishing scheme. There it was, complete with pictures that looked eerily like my front yard, but the description pitched it as a prime, untouched parcel with exclusive neighborhood perks, ideal for savvy developers. My name wasn't anywhere in sight, but the location details were spot on for anyone who knew the area around Willow Creek Estates in suburban Atlanta. The real shocker? The seller contact led straight to Brenda, our neighborhood association president, who'd apparently crowned herself the broker of my fate. Let me set the scene. I inherited 5 acres from my grandfather back in 2018, a quiet stretch bordered by a weathered wooden fence that was there long before the cookie-cutter houses sprouted up. It's never been under the association's thumb, zoned rural and free from their endless rules. Brenda had been gunning to rope me in for ages, starting with snide letters about yard upkeep standards, then escalating to threats over my SUV parked on my own dirt path. Each time, I'd fire back courteous replies, spelling out that my plot wasn't hers to boss around. She never let facts get in her way. Seeing that listing, I chuckled. At first it seemed too outrageous, too legally suicidal. But as it sank in, I realized Brenda wasn't playing games. She was banking on snagging some naive buyer who'd think they could bulldoze in and boot me out. This wasn't just her usual power trip. It was a sly bid to bully me into submission. The next day, a note was slapped on my gate, Brenda's sharp, aggressive scrawl, underlining words like a manifesto. Association land up for bid to uphold our values. No direct mention of me, but the hint was crystal clear. She was framing my acres as communal turf, ripe for auction to fund her vanity projects, like that flashy wrought iron gateway she'd been pushing. Calls poured in from neighbors, some snickered, others puzzled. One pair wondered if I was packing up for good. Another murmured that Brenda was spreading rumors I'd skipped on fees I'd never owed, since I wasn't part of her club. She'd gone full spin doctor, weaving tales to turn the tide against me. Instead of folding, I dug out my title documents, bolded the clause exempting my land from any covenants, and marched them to the association's makeshift office in the community center. Brenda sat there like a queen on her throne, shuffling forms with that smug air of unchallenged rule. I dropped the stack in front of her. "Before you peddle what's not yours," I said evenly, "you might want to glance at this." She didn't bother looking. "This area has expectations, and we all reap the benefits. Your plot's an eyesore, wild and devaluing our homes." I smirked. Intriguing, considering its agricultural zoning and answers to no one but me. Careful with the fraud angle. That pierced her bubble. She glared up. "It's not fraud if the group deems it essential. You balloted on land you don't control?" I shot back. "That's like me pulling on your place. Oh, and congrats, you're evicted by my vote alone." Her cheeks flushed, but she leaned back, oozing false confidence. "Folks will see your defiance. Buyers are lining up. Progress waits for no one." That's when the gravity hit. She wasn't bluffing. She was gearing up for a real spectacle, maybe a live bidding war, convincing enough locals she held the deed to spark chaos on my turf. That evening, I nursed a beer, mulling strategies. Alerting the cops felt straightforward, but letting her farce implode publicly could dismantle her for good. If I timed it right, she'd not just falter, shatter. Signs sprouted like weeds the next week. Association auction this weekend. Location? My driveway. The buzz turned it into a neighborhood event. I played coy, smiling at passers-by, feigning indifference. The bigger her bubble, the louder the pop. Come Saturday in early spring 2020, my path brimmed with chairs, a rickety stand, and curious onlookers. Brenda commanded center stage in an ill-fitting jacket, clutching notes like a tycoon. She kicked off with a rant on safeguarding our enclave and reclaiming overlooked assets for collective gain. Bids flew hands up, voices climbing to absurd heights in the thousands. I lingered on the edge, arms crossed, savoring her glow of triumph as she barked numbers like a pro. But I'd laid my trap. The day prior, I'd looped in my buddy, real estate agent Tom, to flip the script. He'd discreetly flagged Brenda's house for auction that morning, leveraging a buried lien from an old contractor debt she'd ignored. With some legal nudges, it was legit and public. As bids on my land peaked wildly, Tom stepped forward. "Hold up, everyone, this isn't the right spot. Today's sale is for that house over there." He jabbed toward Brenda's pristine colonial on Elm Drive. Pandemonium erupted. Brenda's grin iced over. Her papers scattered. I paused for effect, then boomed. Odd how peddling unowned land backfires. Sometimes it's yours on the block. Laughter rippled, nervous at first, then uproarious. Brenda didn't crumble instantly. That'd be too kind. She gripped the stand, nails digging in as whispers morphed into glee. These folks, once her subjects through fear or habit, now eyed their empress dethroned. She stuttered, "Impossible. My place isn't for sale." Tom, cool as steel, waved his file. "Actually, as lean rep, it's confirmed unsettled debts, all filed properly." He flashed the seals, igniting the crowd like sparks on tinder. Brenda's screech echoed. "Fraud. Sabotage." I strode up. "Rich coming from you, after listing my acres with zero claim. But this? Rock-solid proof." She whirled, veins bulging. "You think you're slick, humiliating me here? This is criminal." I shrugged. "If so, phone the law. I'll hang tight." The crowd held its breath, gears turning in her mind. Calling authorities risked exposing her bluff against real docs. Yet Brenda raged on, banging the stand. "Event over. Scatter." But no one stirred. They craved more. Tom pressed. "Auction resumes. Starting at $10,000 for 789 Elm Drive." Her gasp drowned in bids, first from old Mr. Jenkins, who'd chafed under her trash bin fines, then others piling on. Numbers soared, each stabbed deeper into her ego. She twirled, threatening suits, but it only amped the thrill. For once, her flock wasn't cowed, they reveled. Finally, she knelt, fumbling for her phone, dialing frantically. "Emergency. Fraud at my home, send help." The hush fell like a curtain. I leaned close. "Your call, Brenda." "Not mine." 20 minutes later, patrol cars arrived, sirens wailing. Brenda bolted to them, flailing accusations. Officer Morales, whom I'd seen cite her for blocking roads before, sighed wearily. "What's this?" She thrust papers. "Fake. Arrest Themthery stealing my house." I raised a brow. "Funny, since you tried auctioning mine hours ago, since proof. This has it all." Tom handed over the file. Officers pored over it, then Morales nodded. "Legit lien from last year, uncontested." Brenda's jaw dropped. "Mistake. I'll pay now, halt this." He shook his head. "Too late. Process rolls." The silence choked the air. Neighbors traded looks, pity mixed with schadenfreude. Brenda's realm crumbled under her own hubris. But she hissed at me. "You haven't won. I forged this place. I'll crush you." I met her stare. "You built sandcastles. I just brought the tide." She cursed, stormed inside, curtains twitching as she vanished. The group dispersed, gossip igniting. Tom packed up, nodding farewell. Alone on my drive, I eyed her window, knowing wounded pride like hers brewed storms. This wasn't over. Escalation loomed, and I braced. Barely 2 days post-fiasco, engines roared at dawn. A bulldozer idled near my fence, workers lounging. Brenda emerged, clipboard in tow, sunglasses hiding her fury, directing them to raise the barrier. I sauntered over, coffee steaming. "Got permits for demolition?" One shrugged. "Lady says it's association gig walls hazard." I grinned thinly. "Cute, but this ain't theirs." "Touch it, and you're on the hook." Brenda charged. "Ignore him. Proceed." I flashed my laminated title. "Explain to a judge why you wrecked private land post-warning." Workers balked, packing up. Brenda shrieked after them. "Fine, I'll fix it myself." By afternoon, herself meant zoning complaints. She reported my land as a dump site. An inspector arrived, sheepish after my tour revealed zilch but fields and a shed. "She pulls this off, and huh," he muttered. "You bet." Whispers spread, Brenda's warpath. Some neighbors brought pie in solidarity, relaying her rants on my invasion, plans selling to builders for cheap condos, tanking values. Laughter aside, her smears stuck with the conflict averse. I couldn't wait it out. Truth needed amplification. Chance struck. Urgent association meet, safeguard plan. Brenda prepped with slides of urban blight, not my land, but close enough for drama. She railed. "Neglect like his threatens us all, values drop, dangers rise. He schemes to flip to ruiners." Murmurs grew. Hands inched up for her fund to claim and fix. I rose, laptop ready. Before voting, see the full picture. Plugging in, I projected. Her fake listings, flyers, bulldozer clips. Gasps. Then leaned docs, Her cop meltdown video. Silence blanketed. Trust her with cash? She stole, lied, doubled down. Your call but warned. Hands dropped. Mutters turned against her. No votes passed. Brenda slammed her gavel-pointless prop and fled shrieking. When the suit landed, I nearly spat my drink. Brenda claimed trespass, distress, libel, citing her own flyers as proof of my schemes. Absurd. I rang lawyer pal Jordan. Whole riddled mess. We'll shred it. Yet it dragged, whispers intensifying. At hearing, Brenda strutted in armor-like attire, binder bulging. She monologued on torment. Jordan countered with deeds, proofs of her fraud. Judge, exasperated. No basis, retaliatory nonsense. Withdraw or face penalties. She refused, eyes wild. Post-hearing, vengeance spiked. Graffiti on my fence, traitor, trash dumped. Neighbor cams caught her midnight raid. Deputy filed, self-sabotage queen. I added surveillance. Caught her shearing bushes next. Stacking felonies, Brenda? She fled. Reports piled. In court, Jordan added them. Judge warned contempt. Brenda whispered threats. Can't take it? I'll tank its worth. She bombarded agencies with rat, fire hazards, mailed neighbor smears. All flopped, but I countered with suit. Harassment, slander. Twist. Developer call Brenda pitched my land to him with lies. Emails. Gold. Filed. Neighborhood shifted, shunning Brenda. Court finale. New judge sliced her defenses. Pattern of abuse. Dismissed her case, advanced mine. Association ousted her publicly. Deputy served charges mid-meet. Handcuffed walk past ex-subjects? Poetic. Not done, she snarled. I waved, safe travels. Quiet followed. Association Chiledno petty rules. My land thrived. Fence a legend of held lines. Brenda's lesson echoed. Arrogance crumbles. Truth endures. What do you think? Should neighborhood associations have this much power? Or are they just breeding grounds for bullies like Brenda? Was my counterstrike justice or overkill? Drop your hot takes below. Hit like if you're team underdog. And subscribe for more wild real-life dramas.